Alright guys, I am back and we are ready to test and kill dragons with our Strek. Now before we start, we are going to need a defense crystal on our Strek. I'm going to borrow one from this castle because I actually forgot to go buy one. There we go, transferred it into the castle. Transfer it... Ah, dang it. Where'd my ship go? Here we go. Transfer it onto my ship. Okay, now before we go, we're going to need our Strek. We don't have one. If we click on our ship, the hangar bay is empty. The hangar is K, if you're curious. You might also be wondering why there's heavy metal music playing in the background. Well, we're going to be killing dragons, and we certainly can't do that to fantasy music. We gotta do something a little bit more exciting. Alright, so here's all my Streks that I've made. I've got all kinds of random stuff I've put together and stuff I bought from the city. So here's my Drake Test Strek 4 by XB Walker. Just gonna take this, and I'm literally gonna drag it onto my ship. Now if I click my ship and go to the hangar, there it is. Now if you've got a newbie balloon, I don't believe they come with a hangar, so you will have to at least have advance to any other ship in the game. Also, if you don't want to do that, you can actually take off from the city. You can just drag your Strek over to the city center or flight center, and then open the hangar from there. Your ship will show up there. You can fly it out that way as well. But I'm going to do it from my ship, just in the interest of time. Okay, now before we leave, we know that our Strek, it doesn't say it has any weapons. I believe that's a glitch, by the way. But yeah, if I go into the blueprint, let me just make sure. Yeah, 1-4300. So for whatever reason, it doesn't show that weapon on here, but I know it uses 140, so I'm gonna have to put some ammo in it, and I'm gonna have to put some imanol in it in order to fuel the Strek. Both things I can do from my ship. So let's do this. I am going to put some imanol in the ship, and you'll have to buy the imanol in the city or refine it yourself. It's totally up to you. I don't need to put much in here. I'll just put 1,000. Next, I need to put some ammo in it, 140 ammo. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use 140 armor piercing, which is way better than your typical 140. A 140 ammo shot does 50 points of damage, as opposed to an armor piercing, which does 270. Huge difference right there. If you can make armor piercing, do it. All right, let's go 4,000 rounds, roughly. I mean, obviously, I'm not being particularly accurate. Now, this is the part that doesn't always work, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to drag the crystal onto my Strek, and I'm going to say okay. Yeah, see, doesn't feel like working today. There's a glitch with the most recent patch, and sometimes applying things to your Strek isn't working, but I'm sure they'll have that patched out very soon. So we're just going to take off in our little ship here. This is a Blade 100, if you're curious. I named him Zippy. And Blade 100s are very, very fast ships. Well, very fast for a warship, anyway. Hey, here's our little Strek. He's hanging underneath our ship. He's ready to go kill things. Look at that beautiful ship. These are actually not particularly expensive to make. You do need some skills to make them, but 100 variants take hardly 1 million metal and sheet metal, which sounds like a lot, but if you play for more than a week, you're gonna hit that pretty easily. And I'm gonna show you another cool function of this game that actually just released yesterday, matter of fact, and it's called Glide. It makes it so you can go just ridiculously fast, and I mean really, really fast. And I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna ascend to about 3,000 before I do. Actually, I'll set it to 4K. But Glide is a total game changer for this game. I know that a lot of you, including myself, one of our biggest complaints was, I mean, we love how huge the map is. That's awesome. We love that. But it's so huge that you would spend hours and hours getting anywhere in this map. It would take forever to go anywhere. Well, they've addressed that issue, and they like that their map is big. They're not going to change that, and I'm glad they don't, but they are also addressing the playtime issue with a lot of their players. A lot of us have been really complaining because we don't have 5 hours a day to play this game just to get from A to B. So in order to address that problem, they've created the glide skill. And what the glide skill does is it allows your ship to go 3 to 7 times, well, 3 to 7 times less air resistance, and it factors out to like double to triple, like a little bit more speed than your ship would normally do. Now I'm doing 240 right now because I've got an SM2 engine. Remember we talked about engine classifications on our fighters, M1, M2, M3, M4? Well, airships have a similar design. They have SM1, SM2, and SM3. There is no SM4. The SM2 is a good middle-of-the-road engine. It uses IMA, which is the first level of refining that you get from crude oil, IMA. And it's a respectable speed engine. SM3 is the fastest, but it's very expensive, very heavy, and burns through fuel like crazy. Most people don't use the SM3 unless they're going to PvP and they want every advantage possible. And yes, we will cover PvP. That'll be in a future tutorial. I'm going to recruit one of my guild members to basically go to war with me. We're going to fight each other, and it'll be really fun. But for now, let's just stick with the SM2 and let's stick with killing dragons because dragons don't hold grudges. Okay, we're almost over the nearest hill. And I'm going to take away my logo here in a few minutes and let you see where I am on the map so you can know some good places to go hunting for dragons. Now while we're in the air, we have another task we need to do. Our Strek is currently unfueled and has no ammo. You see it's got 0 out of 200 fuel and still it's glitched out, not showing the weapon, but let's go ahead and refuel it first. So you're going to click on your Strek in your hangar bay. Go down here and hit F or fuel, click on it. It will show you all 4 fuel types, but only what's in your hold will be available. So let's choose Imanol because that's what we brought. That's going to take 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Again, a lot of things in this game take a lot of time. That's no exception. So while it's doing that, we can actually queue up the ammo reload as well. So we're going to click on ammo. 1-40 machine gun blizzard ammo, and this is armor piercing. It's going to take 2 minutes and 8 seconds. If you want to lower your ammo reload time and your refuel time, the skills you're going to look for are refuel, so 50% faster refuel at level 3, and then reload 50% faster there. There's an entire Strek tree. If you really like Streks like I do, as you can see, I've trained virtually all of them except Heroism. I don't really believe Heroism is worth it because what it makes your ships do is when you send a Strek out automatic, when it's under AI control, it makes it so when he's running out of fuel, he doesn't come home. He just keeps fighting. I mean, yeah, that's very YOLO, but Streks are kind of expensive. They take a lot of time to make, and I personally don't want my Strek out there risking his life just because he wants to fly a little bit longer. So I'm going to skip the skill until I have absolutely no other skills to learn, and then I'll just learn it because I have to. Okay, now we're up high enough to use glide, I think. I'm going to get up to 3K just in case because I hate it when I start using it and then it cancels out because I'm not high enough. Glide needs you to be at least 1 mile above anything, above the ground or below another object, although the description says below another object, and I wonder what object. I mean, there's nothing in the sky except other airships, and they don't slow you down. So anyway, you need to be at least 1 mile above the ground. I think we're close enough. Let's go ahead and hit glide. Watch this ship speed. It's ridiculous. All of us veterans that have been playing for a while, we're just freaking out over this amazing skill. We're all super excited about it because it just cuts so much travel time out of the game. I remember my first, I believe it actually might have been my first or second tutorial, I mentioned how your efficiency increases the higher you go, but there is a cutoff point. For the Blade 100 and the level 6 demon that I happen to be using, that cutoff is 4 miles. I can go up to 5, but at 5 miles, my efficiency's lower because there's not enough air to keep me aloft. Alright, well, not so much to keep me aloft, but to move my little paddle wheels on. So 4K is the sweet spot for 90% of the ships in this game. And as I'm ascending, you're seeing my speed is slowly increasing. 606 miles an hour is ridiculous. You could never even reach... You could hardly reach half that with the fastest ship in the game as of 2 days ago. So this is a total game changer, in my opinion, for this game. We're just going to chill here and watch our ship go, because we need time to reload ammo. Another interesting glitch, and again, remember I told you in another tutorial that I'm not working for the developers, so I will be happy to point out problems with the game. But another interesting glitch is that the queue down here of fuel and ammo glitches out, and it just freezes until you only have one item left in the list. Not a terrible thing, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but, you know, kind of annoying. Now, if you look below, see these little holes in the ground? That is a dragon lair. And if you're a new player and you're looking for a place to kill dragons, look for those holes. I mentioned it in our dragon hunting tutorial. The higher up you go, the closer to mountains you go, you're going to find more of these lairs and you're going to find more dragons. Oops, I'm missing our target. It's actually to the south. In fact, I'm going to take off the logo now. Give you a little hint on a really good place to hunt dragons and also to get mithril if you live down near Narnval. Okay, so it's called the Levron Mountains. We're going to hit them in just a minute here. We're in Daria Hills at the moment, but oh, there we go. We just hit it. Levron Mountains, owned by Yakov Smirnov. I don't know what his name is. And there's a huge 5-mile high mountain down here that you can do all of your dragon hunting at. If you're lucky, there's an available spot to lay a dragon base. I didn't have very much luck finding one a few weeks ago. But, you know, go for it, see if you can find one. Another cool thing about it, of course, is mithrite. There is mithrite ore in 100% concentrations here. So if you're looking to make that ridiculously powerful mithrite armor, this is where you go. But for our case, we're looking to kill dragons. So let's see what we got. Look at how fast this is. That is like, my mind is still blown watching this because I've played for so long going at a snail's pace, even in the Blade, and now that I've tasted the goodness of Glide, I don't know that I could ever fly slow again. Oh, and Glide does not work in a Strek. That would be really cool, but unfortunately not. Okay, we're approaching the mountain, getting pretty close. We're going to just look for some lairs, and we're going to try to anger a few dragons. Naturally, there's not a single dragon on my map. It's like they know I'm doing a tutorial, so they're all hiding. That's okay. Even if we can't find one, there's other fun things we can do. Ah, I see a lair. You see that? That is a lair. So we're going to stop our ship by hitting X. And I'm going to lower my ship by hitting C until I get to about 3K. Maybe a little higher because I don't want to hit the trees when I redock. But about a little over 3,000 should do it. 3152. My Strek is all loaded. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to launch the Strek. We're going to fly around the dragon lair and hopefully get its attention. If not, I'm still going to show you all the controls and how to properly pilot a Strek. It is an acquired skill, and if you've seen my Dragon Wing tutorial, the controls are the exact same. So Q and E are your rudder controls. The arrow keys are your flight controls, because apparently the developer of Strek piloting is from the 1990s. And your acceleration is A and Z rather than W and S. Kind of confusing, I know. So let's go. We're going to take off from the Streklet hitting G. If I hit B, it just launches my Strek under AI control. And depending on my skill level of AI control, I can launch up to 16 of these at once. And not at once, they each launch in order, but yeah, I can control up to 16. So we're going to take off from the Strek, and this is going to be loud. Streks are noisy things. So left arrow turns me left, right arrow tilts me right, forward arrow points me down, and back arrow points me up. Of course, if your controls are inverted, it's the opposite. Back arrow will point you down, and forward arrow will point you up. But we're not doing opposite controls today. Firing your weapon is simple. It's just spacebar. Come on out, Mr. Dragon. You'll also notice that our speed down here is over 300 miles an hour, and we're actually climbing. Remember what I was talking about, designing your ship with lots of playroom for throttle? This is why. Now down here is going to be your fighter's radar. Looks like we've got some dragons straight ahead on radar. Unfortunately, it won't show their altitude, but it will show their general direction. So we know there's dragons up here. The cool thing is dragons really hate Streks. Oh, by the way, I don't have a crystal on, so the moment I get shot, I'm gonna die. I couldn't get that stupid crystal to apply for whatever reason. Alright, dragons, come out. Easy bait. Other controls is going to be your throttle here on the left. 100% currently. We can actually lower that if I want to by hitting Z, holding it down until I get into the green area. Green area represents my cruising speed. Remember what I said about don't... Oh, hold on. We're going to have to fight a dragon here, guys. Stand by. Whoa, luggage. The red bar on the left indicates our health, which means the dragon missed. You just saw his fire attack. I'm going really fast, so it's hard to maneuver. Alright, we're going to start making our way back to the ship because if I do get wrecked, I'm going to be on dragon wings and it's going to be a long flight. Now, if you think that you can escape a dragon through speed, that's pretty much a no-go. Dragons are very fast. They can go up to, I want to say 400, which even the fastest Strek can hardly touch. So, yeah, good luck with that. But, we're gonna try to bring these dragons back. See, look how high this thing climbs. That is just ridiculous. I think we kind of put a little too much lift in it. And this, of course, is your altimeter. We are passing 4,000 yards or 4 miles, whatever you want to call it, up in the air. It's a very, very maneuverable and well-lifted Strek that we have right here. This is our rate of climb. We're climbing at over 5,000, or excuse me, over 500 yards a minute. Which actually we don't want to do because, hey, there's our ship. So here's what we're going to do. If those dragons chase us, which I doubt they will, we're going to hang out near the Blade 100 here and let its automated guns do a little bit of the work. I'm lowering the cruising speed so I don't pull up so much. We're going to bring that down even more. By the way, you can switch views by hitting V. This is our bomber view, not really relevant in a single-seater. This is our rear view. You can hold down the mouse button and drag to the left or right. The right mouse button, rather. And see your cool little orc guy flying. Or human. There's our machine guns. If I had more, you would see them on the wing. That's kind of a cool feature on there, in my opinion. Okay, let's switch our view back to normal view. Looks like we probably passed the Blade while we were showing off. So one other thing I want to tell you about before we end the tutorial, firing machine guns in the Strek is a little weird. You might have noticed that a lot of the times when I passed by the dragons, I would fire after the fact. And no, it's not because I'm dumb. It's actually lag. If you hit the spacebar, sometimes the machine guns won't fire at that moment. So my best advice is to hit the spacebar a second before you line up your target. And yeah, it wastes a little bit of ammo, but at least you're going to hit the target. There we go. Let's see if I can manually do this. Also, you can tell your Strek to return. You don't have to do all the hard work. Okay. Woo, man. It's not an easy thing to fly, let me tell you. We've actually got an event coming up in our guild where we're all going to go out in Streks and just battle it out. I'll be lucky if I hit anybody. Alright, first try. Man, I should get a medal for that. Anyway, that is it for your basic Strek flying and equipping. Let's see if we get lucky and if I can actually put a crystal on this thing. Nope, still glitched out. Anyway, the way around that glitch until they fix it would be to just put a cargo bay of 50 on your Strek and just drop it in the cargo and activate it from there. So that is it, guys. I'm sorry that I couldn't put a crystal on it and keep the fight going, but if you do want to fight dragons, it's at this time it's more of a novelty fighting them in a Strek because it doesn't make sense compared to just flying your airship and blowing them out of the sky with automated weaponry. But it's my hope that they really do some work on Streks and add more abilities, add a little bit more smoothness to the flight controls. In the meantime, though, it's really fun to fly those things. Really cool. I'm going to show you in a future tutorial about bombing, which is another very fun thing to do and takes a lot more skill points to design one. Takes a lot more time in the game before you can do that, but if you've reached that tutorial, you've probably gotten to that point. Alright guys, thank you so much and have a wonderful day.